all of those superintendents, their principals back there in their shirt, ties, and sports coats. Start with Mr. Bang.
Thank you. On the athletic front, since we last met, I did get to go down to Columbus to receive that Award of Excellence that the athletic department earned. Kind of rolled out the red carpet for us, got to sit right behind Akron St. Vincent and St. Mary's bench, front row seats for the D2 game. It's a pretty neat experience. Took my wife and my son down, saw Mr. Sitke while we were down there. They gave us a plaque. We have a banner that we'll hang up in the school too. It was a neat experience to kind of go down and see that, and you know, an honor to be recognized there. We're kind of in full swing right now with our spring sports. We have baseball and softball. They're playing at Sebring tonight. I got a couple games pretty much packed full over spring break. Wednesday, Thursday they'll be playing at home. So nice day. You got to go catch a game. Wednesday, Thursday we'll be there. Track, they go to East Palestine on Saturday for an invitational. And junior high track is actually tonight at a state qualifying meet. This is the first year that the OHSA is actually sponsoring a junior high state track meet. So it has to be automated times and all that kind of stuff. So this is the first year they're doing that, and this is our first shot at it. This is one of 3 meets that our kids will have a chance to qualify for the state meet. And I think we have a couple kids that are right there, according to their times, that will be able to do it. So a good opportunity for them. The last thing I wanted to just show you, I brought something, is you know, as I was walking through the halls past the trophy cases, we have a plaque for Coach Sleemus and there's one for Bud Booker as well. And every time I'd walk by them, because of the funny shape of our state, it would be down like this. We'd put it up and it would fall back down. So I went to our STEM class and said, hey, can you guys create some sort of stand for me? So one of our students, Justin Larkins, this was his 3rd design, but it was neat for me. This is the first time I was able to see, you know, they go through the sketch, they go through the scaling, all the measurements, and you know, the first thing he had was something that had a couple prongs there and it didn't work out as well. So this was his 3rd and final. So some of these, as you go through the trophy cases, you'll see some of our 3D printing in there as well. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yes, it is.
So, that's all we have from the athletic front.
Nice job.
So
You could probably sell that to trophy people because our state is
It is.
different.
I didn't know how they were going to do it, and I was pretty impressed with them. Yeah, about a week.
let me explain to you the maturation of the rookie athletic director. Okay? I told him that spring would come and that eventually things would slow down and the smile would come back to his face after the fall and winter seasons, because they are quite long. And spring rolls around, as you can see, he's now got time to go into trophy cases and look for plaques, and the smile's back on his face, so I think he's going to make it.
I saw the light at the end of the tunnel.
I think he's good. I think he's survived his first year. Thank you, Mr. Barry. Mr. Edenfield.
Thank you, Mr. Sitke. I don't have any props, so I'm going to say that up front. April has begun, the wrap up. I mean, when we get back from spring break, senior day is 3 weeks from the Friday we come back. So the end is near, like he said, the light at the end of the tunnel. So a lot of recognitions. We wrapped up the English air testing. Interim reports for the 4th 9 weeks went out today. Just some events going on. You know, I think I mentioned last year that the county had done away with mock crash for a few reasons. And they said last year we were on our own, but they were looking to reinstate mock crash this spring. Email came out, maybe January, February, saying no mock crash indefinitely, but in lieu of mock crash, we will come to your school. Give us a date that works best for you. So we had them in the building today. The program is called Arrive Alive. They had a representative from ODOT, who happened to be our own Scott Gallup, working a driving simulator where the students were asked to text while they were driving on the simulator. They were also given goggles that you know, mimicked impaired vision from drinking, and asked to drive wearing those. There were some trivia questions, but it was a nice program, very similar, you know, to the message that was delivered in mock crash. It was also similar to the audience we targeted. It was all juniors and seniors. And then we also had the freshmen and sophomores who were attending prom go through as well, since prom is May 5th. So we thought today, being the last day before spring break, was a good day to do that. Limit disruption, so that was held up in the auditorium lobby today. And the kids really enjoyed it, even some of the kids who weren't sure what it was or why, why it was important or why we were making such a big deal of it. When they walked away, they understood. So it was very well received. As always, the people from Cash Coalition put the program on, as well as Mr. Gallo from ODOT, very complimentary of our kids, both in the way they conducted themselves and, the way they conducted themselves going through the program also. So, so that was good. Two recognition things. On Thursday, the 27th, is the annual Heads Above the Rest breakfast luncheon at the 7 Golf Club. That's something put on sponsored by the ESC, recognizing all the seniors in the county who have scored a 30 or higher on their ACT. Very proud to say that this year's senior class we have 3 seniors who have achieved that. That's the most since I've been here. History-wise, I don't know if we've had 3 in the past. We've had 2 since I've been here, but not 3. So those 3 students are Lindsay Choldinsky, Aaron Kometz, and Derek Joy. Very proud of them and what they've accomplished, and we'll recognize them on the 27th. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Bing was talking about an honor. It was at the boys basketball tournament in Columbus to receive the Award of Excellence. I had the honor and privilege yesterday of joining Anna Marie Vaughn, ESC superintendent, as well as our own Lindsay Choldinsky and her parents at the Franklin B. Walter luncheon down in Columbus. And the Franklin B. Walter is an award put on by the Ohio ESC Association, and it recognizes 1 senior from each county in Ohio. And Lindsay was the Columbiana County winner, and to the best of the ESC's knowledge, she's the first Lisbon student to receive that honor. So for me, I mean, obviously she's earned it. She's fantastic. She's fabulous. You guys know her. You know that. But for me, what I took away was what an honor it was to be down there. And will we get back? When will we get back? Because the award's been around since '89. And if it's true that Lindsay was our first one, it's been 28 years for us to get someone there. So I equated, I told Mr. Sifke, to me that was the academic equivalent of making the state tournament in athletics. So very special, quite an honor. Real nice how they had set up the keynote speaker for the luncheon was Paula DeMaria, state superintendent. And then they have each senior who was there go up to the microphone, say their name, where they're a senior at currently, where they're going to go to college, and what they're going to major in. And Lindsay was one of 2 who said they were going to Youngstown State. 3 said they were going to Stanford. 2 were going to Columbia. 1 to Dartmouth. 1 to Northwestern, 1 to Michigan, several to Ohio State, 1 to Florida State, and then Bowling Green had a couple, handful to OU, handful to Miami, 2 or 3 to Kent. So it was just interesting to see where everyone was going. So that was definitely quite an honor for Lindsay to be there. It's certainly a feather in the cap for David Anderson and our district as a whole, and was very proud of myself to be there and have somebody from Lisbon represent us. So,
how many kids are in there altogether?
88, 1 from each county. One from each county is selected.
What's the
annually.
process?
I think the process is going to be explained in the press release. That's the other thing I was going to mention. The Ohio ESC Association asked that it's not made public until after the luncheon, so Anna Marie is going to give me a press release along with a picture for us to submit to the press. But what I gathered is each school nominates a senior to the ESC, to the Columbiana ESC, and then that student is asked to write an essay, and that essay is what separates them. So that's. So I guess Mr. Bing deserves some of that credit too, since he was Lindsay's English teacher last year.
You're on a roll.
Yes. So I should say 2 out of 3. But anyway, so that's certainly part of the process. The majority of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a day, and I popped into Mrs. Chazinski's kindergarten class today when I was down in Mr. Kometz's building, you know, and she was still glowing from having the opportunity to go and represent Lisbon and those kind of things. So it was a very nice day. I would have loved to have gone, but I was at the Portage County Area Consortium talking about insurance premiums for next school year.
Sounds exciting.
Versus sending Mr. Kometz or Mr. Edenfield to Columbus. So I got the short end of the straw on that one. So
He did. I was very appreciative.
it wasn't a lot of fun. Thank you. Mr. Kometz, McKinley Elementary.
Thank you, Mr. And no jacket today, but
You
Mr. Enfield told me earlier I looked like Jerry Glanville. I took that as a compliment, so.
absolutely. Jerry Glanville was a winner, and so are you, Mr. Kometz.
Thank you. Put that away.
You can quote me on that. Absolutely.
Thank you. As Mr. Enfield said, McKinley also finished our first round of air testing, English language arts in early April. We also passed out our fourth 9 weeks progress reports, and we will also, when we get back from spring break, finish up with our second round of state testing, math, and science and social studies. So we are full steam ahead with regards to that. We did take a group of students when they were done with testing up to see the play. David Anderson last Friday afternoon. Grades 3, 4, and 5 went to see that. So that was a nice break for them after they finished their first round of testing. We had a kindergarten program Tuesday night that I would estimate there were 350 to 400 people in our cafeteria. We set up 300 chairs and it was packed standing room all around, and we opened up the doors and stuff. There were so many people there. For our larger, I'll say, kindergarten class. 84 kids in that class and 300 chairs set up. And it was standing room only, so it was a very nice program put on by Mrs. Fauner and Mrs. Swift. Very much appreciated all their hard work to bring that kind of crowd down to McKinley on a Tuesday night. After break, we're going to have a preschool open house and a kindergarten open house. Those are both scheduled for the week we get back on the 25th and the 27th. And we started those a couple of years ago as a way to draw people in and have them look around and feel comfortable with where they're going to send their kids next year. Miss Minor opens up her preschool. People register and come in the morning and in the afternoon sessions. And then kindergarten does the same type of thing. Some of the local daycares, preschools in town actually bring groups of kids down to see the kindergarten classroom. So those are nice events to get people in and see just kind of what we do when they're registering their students for next year. So those will take place that week as well. Last thing I want to mention is that we have, if you drive by the building on Chestnut, you're going to see a greenhouse put up in the back on the playground. The PTO bought that greenhouse for us last year. Rick McCullough actually helped to level off and put some gravel down. And then just this past weekend we had Greenford Christian put a community group together, and they came to me and asked me if there's something they could do to volunteer, and so they built the greenhouse. And we're going to fill it up with stuff and get kids in it to use it and get their hands dirty, and it's a big thanks to all those groups for all their work and dedication and support to help us make that happen. So that's our April.
Questions for Mr. Kometz? I will conclude the superintendent's report with just one comment. All kidding aside, these three back there do a fabulous job on a day-to-day basis of running their buildings. We're a small district, and it's not very uncommon to get phone call after phone call from parents when there are situations that arise in the buildings that they're not happy with. Those phone calls don't happen very often here, and that's due to the three of them and the ability to communicate with